This video is about installing Anaconda on WSL2 for Windows. So first, let's bring up the terminal as this is Windows Terminal application. This has been customized via the settings.json file that you get when you down arrow and do settings, so that I have an Ubuntu to be my default, goes to my home directory, and has the Ubuntu colors. And also create a command prompt for Windows PowerShell. And for example, and I can go ahead and run, for example, WSL list all my WSL installations using verbose listing. And we see I've got Ubuntu 20.04 running, and it's version 2 of the WSL, which is key because later we're going to be using that for Docker. And here we can see one way to find out what releases you've got is to cat the files in etc that have release in their name. And this is a 20.04.1 LTS version of Ubuntu. To install Anaconda in the WSL2 shell, not the Windows, go ahead and search for download Anaconda. Of course, we're looking for the individual edition. That's the free one. We want to go ahead and download it. And we want the Linux installer because we're installing this under WSL2 for Windows. Go ahead and save that file. The download finished. We can see the folder that it's in. It's in my Windows downloads directory. Now, to make it a little bit easier to interact with Windows, I'm going to go ahead and do a symbolic link of my Windows home directory to a directory under my home directory for my Linux. This is just strictly optional, just makes it a little easier to find things, I find. Now I'll go to downloads. Well, I actually can run it right from here. Okay, so we downloaded this file right here, anaconda.shell. And we're going to install it under our WSL2 Ubuntu. So go ahead and run bash anaconda and review the license. Say OK. And we say yes to this command right here so that our shell is set up properly for Anaconda. And we're done installing Anaconda. Now, I don't want Anaconda to automatically start up the base environment. So on Stack Overflow, they give you some instructions for how to avoid that. Just go ahead and copy those. Oh, well, we don't have Conda yet because although we modified our shell, we didn't actually source the new shell. So this is the old one. We have to create a new shell or source the changes that were made by Anaconda, and we see we've got base there. My preference is to not have that automatically, so we're going to turn that off. Conda config -set auto activate base false. Now when we create a brand new terminal, it'll be just a regular terminal. I'm getting rid of some of my other ones here. Very good. Now let's create a Conda virtual environment. Conda create name. Let's call it Pi37, and we can specify the version of Python we want. In this case, we're going to say 3.7. 3.9 just came out, but not everyone's upgraded to that yet, so I'm just going to show examples in various environments, such as 3.7. And it gives you a list of packages to install by default. And just to show you that this worked, we can Conda activate pi 37, and let's just do python dash dash version, and it's Python 3.7. So we have succeeded in installing Anaconda in our WSL2 environment, which in this case is Ubuntu 20.04.